Hare Krishna. Okay. And sorry for this, for my for the muted introduction. I was using the wrong microphone. Or no microphone, actually. I wasn't using. I thought I'm using internal one. But so let's start again. Welcome everyone to today's reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, as we do every Tuesday, every Monday, every Tuesday, 6 to 6:55. For the last 3 weeks we've been reading. We restarted that reading that we began at the end of Kartik 2018. And we want to read through Bhagavatam and read again and again, and hope to inspire everyone to read more, to study Bhagavatam, to get lessons, to get inspiration, guidance. Everything is there in Bhagavatam, and I mean it, it's there. So before we begin reading, I want to just also mention that we started reading Bhagavatam. I want to just talk about a little bit the fourth canto of Bhagavatam, where we are on at the moment. We just did the first part. Let's say it's divided into 4 parts of fourth canto. There are 4 distinct stories. The one we are at the end of the first story. That is about Daksha, Shiva, and Sati, and others. I'm just gonna tell you something about the fourth canto, just to get some perspective. So the fourth canto discusses Visarga. There's like Sarga or creation, Visarga, which is secondary creation. It was defined, Visarga, I'm reading this definition, the subcreation of by Brahma and the progenitors when the different species are created. And the Sanskrit of that verse defines Visarga as Visarga Paurasha Smritaha. So Visarga is known as Paurusha, not Purusha, but Paurusha. Purusha probably many of you heard. So I'm just gonna explain or about what Purusha or Visarga is, and what are the subject matters in this fourth canto. So as Srimad Bhagavatam has these different meanings in every verse, and there are also many layers of many meanings of this word Paurusha. It comes from the word Purusha, which said we know. Many of you know the Purusha, you heard about Purusha. And that's Lord Krishna is known as Purusha. So those who are related to Purusha are also called Paurusha. So that's in the first sense of the word. And that's we considered like someone like Lord Brahma. He directly appeared from Krishna, from the navel of Narayana, and therefore is known as Paurusha. So we see the secondary creation, so the creation of Brahma. So that's the first meaning of this word. So the second meaning of this word, that means Brahma's subcreation. Okay, this is first meaning. The second meaning, it means all of Krishna's devotees, Paurusha, who are related to him are known as Paurusha. So in this sense, Visarga means the descriptions related to the Lord's devotees, like Daksha, Dhruva, Prithu, Pachetas, Pachina, Barhi. So these are all devotees who the stories we hear in fourth canto. And then in the third sense, the word Purusha means the Purusharthas, which probably also heard about Purusharthas, or the 4 great aims, which is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. four great aims in the Vedic theology. So dharma, religion, arma, profit, kama, desire, and moksha, liberation. So all those who attained, these four aims or purusharthas are known as paurusha. So, does the four main narratives of fourth canto demonstrate how the great personalities attain the highest perfection in these four great aims of purusharthas? So, these four aims. So we wanna take the last sense of this word as the most not the most valid, but appropriate and or useful now, because we just went through a story of Daksha, who performed a sacrifice for attaining perfection in Dharma. We're gonna later hear the story of Dhruva Maharaj, who desired wealth, kingdom, so Artha, and later on the King Prithu, who will represent that fulfilling his desires or kama for his citizens, and the prachetas. Were determined to attain liberation or moksha. So just to give this perspective on the fourth canto a little bit, and before we start reading, as always, we also read these verses or recite the verses of glorification. Sarva Shastrabdi Piyushas Sarva Vedaika Satpalam Sarva Siddhantna Ratnadya Sarva Lokaika Drikpradam. O nectar from the ocean of all scriptures, singular fruit of all the Vedas, rich mine of the precious gems of all conclusive truths, you are the only giver of sight to all other worlds. Sarva Bhagavata Prana Shrimad Bhagavata Prabhu Kalidvantodita Ditya Shri Krishna Parivartita. O life air of all the Supreme Lord's devotees, O Master Shrimad Bhagavatam, you are the sun reasoning in the darkness of Kali, you are the exact image of Shri Krishna. Paramananda Patnaya Prema Vakshaksharayate Sarvada Sarvasevyaya Shri Krishna Namostume. I bow down to you who are supremely blissful to read. Your every syllable pours down a flood of prema. You can always be served by everyone. You are Shri Krishna himself. Adeka Bandho Matsangin Mad Guru Mad Mahadana Mad Nishtaraka Mad Bhagya Madananda Namostate. My only friend, my constant companion, my spiritual master, my great wealth, my savior, my good fortune, my source of ecstasy, I bow down to you. Asadu saduta dayina tini chochataraka hanamuncha kadachimam premna hrit kantayospura. O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly, O exalter of the most fallen, please never leave me. Always appear in my heart and my voice with pure love. Narayanam namaskritya naranchaivam narotanam devin sarasatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Ashta Preshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavat Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So we continue reading today. we left yesterday, the verse 41 in the 6th chapter, Canto 4. Translation. All the sages who were sitting with Lord Shiva, such as Narada and others, also offered their respectful obeisances to Lord Brahma. After being so worshipped, Lord Brahma, smiling, began to speak to Lord Shiva. This is not happening on Kailash. I just heard the description of Kailash, mountain where Brahma came to meet Lord Shiva. Purport. Lord Brahma was smiling because he knew that Lord Shiva is not only easily satisfied, but easily irritated as well. He was afraid that Lord Shiva might be in an angry mood because he had lost his wife and had been insulted by Daksha. In order to conceal this fear, he smiled and addressed the Lord Shiva as follows. Lord Brahma said, "My dear Lord Shiva, I know that you are the controller of the entire material manifestation, the combination, father and mother of the cosmic manifestation, and the supreme Brahman beyond the cosmic manifestation as well. I know you in that way." Purport. Although Lord Brahma had received very respectful obeisances from Lord Shiva, he knew that Lord Shiva was in a more exalted position than himself. Lord Shiva's position is described in Brahma Samhita. There is no difference between Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva in their original positions, but still Lord Shiva is different from Lord Vishnu. The example is given that the milk in yogurt is not different from the original milk from which it was made. So they're both milk, but they're also different. 43. My dear Lord, you create this cosmic manifestation, maintain it and annihilate it by expansion of your personality, exactly as a spider creates, maintains and winds up its web. Purport. In this verse the words Shiva Shakti is significant. Shiva means auspicious and Shakti means energy. There are many types of energies of the Supreme Lord and all of them are auspicious. Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara are called guna avatars or incarnations of material qualities. In the material world, we compare these different incarnations from different angles of vision, but since all of them are expansions of the Supreme Auspicious, all of them are auspicious, although sometimes we consider one quality of nature to be higher or lower than another. The mode of ignorance, or tamaguna, is considered very much lower than the others, but in the higher sense, it is also auspicious. The example may be given herein that the government has both an educational department and criminal department. An outsider may consider the criminal department inauspicious, but from the government's point of view it is as important as the education department, and therefore the government finances both departments equally without discrimination. This is a very interesting point. My dear Lord, your Lordship has introduced the system of sacrifices through the agency of Daksha, and thus one may derive the benefits of religious activities and economic development. Under your regulative principles, the institution of the four varnas and ashramas is respected. The Brahmanas therefore vow to follow this system strictly. Purport. The Vedic system of varna and ashrama is never to be neglected, for these divisions are created by the Supreme Lord Himself for the upkeep of social and religious order in human society. The Brahmanas, as the intelligent class of men in society, must vow to steadily respect this regulative principle. The tendency in this age of Kali to make a classless society and not observe the principles of Varna and Ashrama is a manifestation of an impossible dream. Destruction of the social and spiritual orders will not bring fulfillment of the idea of a classless society. One should strictly observe the principles of Varna and Ashrama for the satisfaction of the Creator, for it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna that the four orders of the social system, Brahmanas, Kshatras, Vaishyas and Shudras, are His creation. They should act according to the regulative principles of this institution and satisfy the Lord, just as different parts of the body all engage in the service of the whole. The whole is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in His Virat Rupa, or universal form. The Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are respectively the mouth, arms, abdomen, and legs of the universal form of the Lord. As long as they are engaged in the service of the complete whole, their position is secure. Otherwise, they fall down from their respective positions and become degraded. Next text. O most auspicious Lord, you have ordained the heavenly planets, the spiritual Vaikuntha planets, and the impersonal Brahman sphere as the respective destinations of the performers of auspicious activities. Similarly, for others who are miscreants, you have destined different kinds of hells which are horrible and ghastly. Yet sometimes it is found that their destinations are just the opposite. It is very difficult to ascertain the cause of this. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is called the Supreme Will. It is by the Supreme Will that everything is happening. It is said, therefore, that not a blade of grass moves without the Supreme Will. Generally, it is prescribed that the performers of pious activities are promoted to the higher planetary systems. Devotees are promoted to the Vaikunthas, or spiritual world, and impersonal speculators are promoted to the impersonal Brahman effulgence. But it sometimes so happens that a miscreant like Ajamil is immediately promoted to the Vaikuntha Loka simply by chanting the name of Narayana. Although when Ajamil uttered this vibration, he intended to call his son Narayana. Lord Narayana took it seriously and immediately gave him promotion to Vaikuntha Loka despite his background, which was full of sinful activities. Similarly, King Daksha was always engaged in the pious activities of performing sacrifices. Yet simply because of creating a little misunderstanding with Lord Shiva, he was severely taken to task. The conclusion, therefore, is that the Supreme Will is the ultimate judgment. No one can argue upon this. A pure devotee therefore submits in all circumstances to the Supreme Will of the Lord, accepting it as all auspicious. Tat te nukampam susamikshamanam bunjana evatma kritam vipakam hritvak vapurbi vidadan namaste jiveta yomukti pade sadaya bak. That's Bhagavatam 10:14. 8. The purport of this verse is that when a devotee is in a calamitous condition, he takes it as a benediction of the Supreme Lord and takes responsibility himself for his past misdeeds. In such a condition, he offers still more devotional service and is not disturbed. One who lives in such a disposition of mind, engaged in devotional service, is the most eligible candidate for promotion to the spiritual world. In other words, such a devotee's claim for promotion to the spiritual world is assured in all circumstances. Yeah. We have to take responsibility ourselves and not blame it on anyone else. Or when we say sometimes, oh, I said today, I deserve it, or it's due to my karma. It can be also blaming your karma in one sense, when it can be, but in another sense could be, well, it's me, because if you say it's my karma, it means I was the one that created my karma, so I'm the one that's reaping the results. But taking responsibility means, as the word itself indicates, is to be able to respond to the situation, to the problem issue at hand. Okay, next verse. My dear Lord, devotees who have fully dedicated their lives unto your lotus feet certainly observe your presence as Paramatma in each and every being, and as such they do not differentiate between one living being and another. Such persons treat all living entities equally. They never become overwhelmed by anger like animals who can see nothing without differentiation. Purport. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes angry or kills a demon, materially this may appear unfavorable, but spiritually it is a blissful blessing upon him. Blissful blessing. Therefore, pure devotees do not make any distinction between the Lord's anger and his blessings. They see both with reference to the Lord's behavior with others and themselves. A devotee does not find fault with the behavior of the Lord in any circumstances. So in the ultimate sense, we get attention, and in any way one gets attention from the Lord that is considered favorable. Of course, it's better if you compare between two. If the Supreme Personality of Godhead benedicts you or kills you, in both ways, one gets promoted. But when he kills, generally, those go to the Brahman effulgence, or to the merging into the Brahma Jyoti. But not always. Okay. That's still Brahma speaking. Persons who observe everything with differentiation. So they see it. They don't see it equally. Who are simply attached to fruitive activities. Who are mean-minded. Who are always pained to see the flourishing condition of others, and who thus give distress to them by uttering harsh and piercing words, have already been killed by providence. Thus there is no need for them to be killed again by an exalted personality like you. Purport. Persons who are materialistic and always engaged in fruitive activities for material profit cannot endure seeing the flourishing life of others. In other words, they're envious. Except for a few persons in Krishna consciousness, the entire world is full of such envious persons who are perpetually full of anxiety because they are attached to the material body and are without self-realization. Since their hearts are always filled with anxiety, it is understood that they have already been killed by providence. Thus Lord Shiva, as a self-realized Vaishnava, was advised not to kill Daksha. A Vaishnava is described as para dukkha dukhi because although he is never distressed in any condition of life, he is distressed to see others in a distressed condition. Vaishnavas therefore should not try to kill by any action of the body or mind, but should try to revive the Krishna consciousness of others out of compassion for them. The Krishna consciousness movement has been started to deliver the envious persons of the world from the clutches of Maya, and even though devotees are sometimes put in trouble, they push on the Krishna consciousness movement in all tolerance. Lord Chaitanya advises, who is Lord Krishna. Tarnadapi sunichana tarorapi saishrana marina manadena kirtanya sada hari. One can chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than a straw in the street. One should be more taller than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. That's from Shikshastika. A Vaishnava should follow the examples of such Vaishnavas as Haridas Thakur, Nityananda Prabhu, and also Lord Jesus Christ. It's interesting. Lord Jesus Christ, the Vaishnava, Bhakta Jesus. You see how favorable Prabhupada was, how non-dominational or exclusivist, that he put the name of Lord Jesus Christ in a Vaishnava scripture. There is no need to kill anyone who has already been killed, but it should be noted herewith that a Vaishnava should not tolerate the blaspheming of Vishnu or Vaishnavas, although he should tolerate personal insults to himself. My dear Lord, if in some places materialists who are already bewildered by the insurmountable illusory energy of the Supreme Godhead sometimes commit offenses, a saintly person with compassion does not take this seriously. Knowing that they commit offenses because they are overpowered by the illusory energy, he does not show his prowess to counteract them. Purport. It is said that the beauty of a tapasvi or saintly person is forgiveness. There are many instances in the spiritual history of the world in which many saintly persons, although unnecessarily harassed, did not take action, although they could have done so. Parikshit Maharaj, for example, was unnecessarily cursed by a Brahmana boy, and this was very much regretted by the boy's father. But Parikshit Maharaj accepted the curse and agreed to die within a week as the Brahmana boy desired. Parikshit Maharaj was the emperor and was full in power both spiritually and materially, but out of compassion and out of respect for the Brahmana community, he did not counteract the action of the Brahmana boy, but agreed to die within 7 days. Because it was desired by Krishna that Parikshit Maharaj agreed to the punishment so that the instruction of Srimad Bhagavatam would thus be revealed to the world, Parikshit Maharaj was advised not to take action. A Vaishnava is personally tolerant for the benefit of others. When he does not show his prowess, this does not mean that he is lacking in strength. Rather, it indicates that he is tolerant for the welfare of the entire human society. My dear Lord, you are never bewildered by the formidable influence of the illusionary energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you are omniscient and should be merciful and compassionate toward those who are bewildered by the same illusionary energy and are very much attached to fruitive activities. Purport. A Vaishnava is never bewildered by the influence of the external energy because he is engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The Lord states in Bhagavad Gita 7:14, Daivi hiesha gunamai mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. My divine energy, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. A Vaishnava should take care of those who are bewildered by this Maya instead of becoming angry with them, because without a Vaishnava's mercy, they have no way to get out of the clutches of Maya. Those who have been condemned by Maya are rescued by the mercy of devotees. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just like desire trees, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Those who are under the influence of the illusory energy are attracted to fruitive activities, but the Vaishnava preacher attracts their hearts to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Text 15. My dear Lord Shiva, you are a shareholder of a portion of the sacrifice, and you are the giver of the result. The bad priest did not deliver your share, and therefore you destroyed everything, and the sacrifice remained unfinished. Now you can do the needful and take your rightful share. My dear Lord, by your mercy, the performer of the sacrifice, King Daksha, may get back his life. Bhaga may get back his eyes, Brigo his mustache, and Pusha his teeth. So that's all what happened. If you weren't reading, or you weren't reading with me yesterday, or I don't remember reading before, that's what the demon that was created and other ghosts and goblins, they were sent by Shiva to desecrate the place and to kill Daksha. So King Daksha was killed, although with some difficulty. So he had to be killed like an animal with this prop for killing animals. That's how he was killed. He wasn't possible for the demon to kill the Daksha with normal weapons. So he could only kill him as an animal. I guess, because maybe that's what, because he was acting like an animal, he had to die like an animal, I assume, which I shouldn't. So Bhaga was the one that he lost his eyes because he pointed with his eyes that he agreed with what Daksha was doing, but by blaspheming the Shiva. Brigu, mustache, and Pusha his teeth. So Pusha opened his mouth, kind of something like approving or half smiling. And that's how he was then treated. His punishment was that he lost his teeth. Next text. O Lord Shiva, still Lord Brahma speaking, may the demigods and the priests whose limbs have been broken by our soldiers recover from the injuries by your grace. O destroyer of the sacrifice. What's the word? Rudra. Destroyer. Yeah. O destroyer of the sacrifice, please take your portion of the sacrifice and let the sacrifice be completed by your grace. Purport. A sacrifice is a ceremony performed to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 2nd chapter, it is stated that everyone should try to understand whether the Supreme Personality of Godhead is satisfied by his activity. In other words, the aim of our activities should be to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just as in an office, it is the duty of the worker to see that the proprietor or the master is satisfied. So everyone's duty is to see whether the Supreme Personality of Godhead is satisfied by one's activity. Activities to satisfy the Supreme Godhead are prescribed in the Vedic literature, and execution of such activities is called yagya. In other words, acting on behalf of the Supreme Lord is called yagya. So it's not only in a stricter sense of the word sacrifice as a fire sacrifice, or I don't know, animal sacrifice, or like but acting, instead of acting selfishly, you're acting selflessly, but acting for the or on behalf of the Supreme Lord, or for the Supreme Lord, or what Supreme Lord wants, so not what you want. So that's then considered yagya. One should know very well that any activity besides yagya is the cause of material bondage. Yes, anything that's not done for the Supreme Lord, connected with Supreme Lord, in service of Supreme Lord, is cause of bondage. It's cause of further entanglement, or prolongs the stay here in the prison house of material world, as it is sometimes called. That is explained in Bhagavad Gita 3.9. Yajnatat karmano nyatra lokayam karma bandhaha. Karma bandhanaha means that if we do not work for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, then the reaction of our work will bind us. One should not work for his own sense gratification. Everyone should work for the satisfaction of God. That is called yagya. And again here, Prabhupada again then clarifies or emphasizes that everyone should work for the satisfaction of God. And then, as we know, this example with watering any plants, or especially here the tree is usually mentioned. So satisfying or watering the root, immediately all the other branches and leaves get satisfied or nourished. And as we, being part of the God, who is the root of everything, satisfying or watering the tree, we also, as being the leaves of God, are immediately nourished and satisfied. Just one moment. Okay, sorry for the pause. After the yagya was performed by Daksha, all the demigods expected prasadam, the remnants of foodstuffs offered to Vishnu. Lord Shiva is one of the demigods, so naturally he also expected to his share of the prasada from the yagya. But Daksha, out of his envy of Lord Shiva, neither invited Shiva to participate in the yagya nor gave him his share after the offering. But after the destruction of the yagya arena by the followers of Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma pacified him and assured him that he would get his share of prasada. Thus he was requested to rectify whatever destruction was caused by his followers. Sorry. In Bhagavad Gita 3.11 it is said that all the demigods are satisfied when one performs yagya. Because the demigods expect prasada from yagyas, yagya must be performed. Those who engage in sense gratificatory, materialistic activities must perform yagya. Otherwise they will be implicated. They will get their reaction. Let's see if someone says I'm not I don't know, just example comes to my mind. Someone says I'm a good person. What's this is happening to me? I never done anything wrong to anyone. And we gonna bring this philosophy in, saying, well, you haven't done anything wrong, but you haven't done anything according to what is right, or what is you done things selfishly. You haven't done anything for the satisfaction of the Lord. So therefore, these people then get implicated, even though they haven't done anything wrong. They haven't killed anyone, raped anyone. They didn't say anything more than a white lie in their lives. But actually, there's more to that. It's also there another adding to the explanation is their past activities of previous existences are there. Just trying to remember what's the called of allotted. What's the allotted karma? Everyone gets their allotted karma. One is called, hold on, maybe I can find it. One is called sanchita. Oops. Please bear with me. Let's see if the search will be fine. Okay, I was looking for a word, parabdha karma. So we have sanchita karma, or the whole karma that we accumulated as atma, and we have parabdha karma, which is then portion for this incarnation. And what is the other karma? The three part. Yeah. Oh my god, I have to make more better research. Okay. One more second. I wanna get to the bottom of this. Okay, that's the one I was looking for. Agami karma, which is future karma, which are our present activities are in making this agami karma. So whatever we do now, whatever I'm doing now at the moment, it's would be also can also be called in the terms of karma is agami. Okay, I'll go back to the reading. Where we stopped. Okay, my meditation log map, wherever everything was set. Let's see. Implicated. That's what I was explaining. Okay, the performance of yaga is a very difficult task because all the demigods must be invited to participate in the yaga. In this Kali Yuga, it is not possible to perform such costly sacrifices, nor is it possible to invite the demigods to participate. Therefore, in this age, it is recommended Yaknai Sankirtana Prayari Jayantihi Sumeda Shaha. From Bhagavatam, those who are intelligent should know that in the Kali Yuga there is no possibility of performing the Vedic sacrifices. But unless one pleases the demigods, there will be no regulated seasonal activities on rainfall. Everything is controlled by the demigods. Under the circumstances, in this age, in order to keep the balance of social peace and prosperity, all intelligent men should execute the performance of Sankirtana Yaga by chanting the holy names Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let me know if you would like online japa session. I know there are some devotees who are doing japa online together. It's helping them with their japa. I'm not saying I will do it, but just see if there's interest. Okay, let's read this. This is the end of this chapter. One should invite people, chant Hare Krishna, and then distribute prasada. This yaga will satisfy all the demigods, and thus there will be peace and prosperity in the world. Another difficulty in performing the Vedic rituals is that if one fails to satisfy even one demigod out of the many hundreds of thousands of demigods, just as Daksha failed to satisfy Lord Shiva, there will be disaster. But in this age, the performance of sacrifice has been simplified. One can chant Hare Krishna, and by pleasing Krishna, one can satisfy all the demigods automatically. So there we go. Another major reason, or another explanation, why are we chanting this Hare Krishna outside? Why are we chanting inside the temple and yoga studios? Why are we chanting it by ourselves? Because this is the yaga for this age. We don't do other yagas, which sometimes those from the Hindu communities are used to. They still been going on. These all sorts of yagyas and homas and different types of rituals. But we hear throughout here and other places. I can get more scriptural evidence, but trust me, there is. If you want, we can get it about exactly what Prabhupada is saying here. What Prabhupada is saying here, that about the difficulty performing this. That we have to satisfy them all. Everyone has to get their share. Everything has to be proper, and just by having proper priests, brahmanas, they properly chant. They don't mispronounce any of the syllable, and everything to be done in very opulence. See that there's many conditions which we basically we cannot fulfill. If we the richest or the most influential people come together and try, it's not recommended. It's not wrong to do it or against, or it's also deity worship that it's being done, and it's not process for this age, but still being done. And then this helps in a different way. The main one, so it's also meditation was the first stage, right? So we do meditation is popular nowadays. It's been popular in India on and off, or more or less. I got this new wave in the Western world. They wrote meditation and mindfulness. The Buddhist meditation have been quite in the forefront of spiritual activities, and it has the great benefits. Result. It's a very good, very good tool for all sorts of, for the mind, especially definitely for the mind, for the purification, for eliminating all the stress, being in a present moment, to realize how our mind works, so be able to deal with it easier, able to remain detached, calm and peaceful, and all the good qualities can come from meditation. All the so many good qualities and virtues can come from doing the worship of the deities, and these sacrifices, these ritualistic sacrifices. But above them all, it's this chanting that's been said that it has it's faultless in this age. It's prescribed, so it's the newest, latest medicine that works. The old ones, they work, but in lesser degree, if I may say that. You can compare it to medicine. That development of medicine in the how it went, how they kind of come up with a new one, and in these 100 years of history of medicine, and the old one will still have the effect, but not to a degree that the latest one has, because all this study has been made in kind of similar sense. Chanting Hare Krishna it's the latest, for it was prescribed thing for the prescribed activity, sacrifice for this day and age. So I'm gonna invite you all that you can try. If you're not already chanting, you can try. You can, if you don't have the beats, which we usually chant on beats, where they are. You know how the beats look like. Yeah, I have them here. Oops, I have them here. They're in this bag. They are coming out from this bag. the Tulsi beads, and now using the neem beads when someone is not yet initiated. And then chant 108 is this number of one round, and it's a auspicious number. And it's, if you're not chanting yet, I can invite you to try to chant one round a day. And if you don't have any counter, or if you have a counter or like a japa mala, you can get an app. You can have an app for that. But, or if you don't like an app, I want to stare at the screen and keep on using the phone, you can do simple chanting on your hands. I used to do that as well. Let me see if I can point it. I would use one hand for 20. So if I can show it, I would point my thumb to my first, like the pointing finger, and I would chant here Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Then at this part, if you can see here, 3, 4. So four parts on one finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. At the junctures, or what they called. So 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, 4 on each finger. 4 times 5 is 20. So how many I would do? 5 times of this, and then plus 8. So I would know, I wouldn't have to count. 108, I would, I have 17, 18, 1, and I would kind of lose the track. But I could much easier have like, I did 1, I did 4 of my chanting of on one palm. That's 80. No, I'm at 80. I do 5, I'm 100, and I just do 8 more, means 2 fingers, and I'm done one round. I'm sure there's maybe another way. That's how the one I'm used to. Or you can get one of these. These are the tally counters, whatever they finger counters. You can get one of these. This is also handy. You can chant. It's good to have like some prescribed way to chant, to not just, okay, well, I chant 10 minutes or 5 minutes. It's good to have some prescribed number, and you can keep that number 1 for daily. It's good to keep that daily chanting dose, and see how it goes. It's recommended. It doesn't cost you anything, but those 5 to 10 minutes, 10 minutes to be honest, and try and see if there's something happening, some peace is dawning upon you. You're getting some realizations. Try to add the second one, the minimum prescribed by the Acharya, that is by Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is 16 rounds, so the goal is to get eventually to that number. So stop here. Please chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Simple. And your life will be sublime. So this does end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 6th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Brahma Satisfies Lord Shiva. And we're gonna continue here, 7th chapter, Sacrifice performed by Daksha. Next time that we'll meet again on Monday at 6 o'clock. Yeah, and by then, keep vibration going. Keep being connected with Iskcon Dublin or other Vaishnava groups. Read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and chant Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.